We are live. So,
Ooh,
welcome to this new
very exciting.
replay. Welcome to this new replay commentary. And I got a guest today. You can now present yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Go7. I am the king of the penguins and the current #1 rated Advanced Wars by Web player.
That's cool, man. Now, since it's your first time around here as a guest, let's speak
Yeah.
about your card. Uh, why that quote? I do like it, but I'm wondering why did you chose that signature?
Well, I just like, I think that as the #1 player, I have some responsibility to be a positive force in the community. So I like to congratulate people when they reach milestones that they're looking forward to. And I just want people to know that I can get up here. So can you. You can win your games. You can make the improvement that you're trying to make.
That's cool. I like that idea. More people should be this way, man. I'm telling you, the world would be a better place with more people like you. You're really nice by what you said, and I think you're right in this. When you're someone that some people can look forward to be like, I think you should be a example, if we can call it that way. So yeah, now, why the penguin?
Why the penguins? I've always had an affinity for penguins. I've been known to wear a blazer and tie, even in somewhat casual settings. So penguins have always been my people.
Okay, I like that response. It's really fair enough. It's great. So about your most used seals, I'm
Yeah,
actually curious to see. First of all, Sasha is really low, and you pick Sasha. We will go back to that question later on, but
sure.
um, why that top seven? Why the first row is Andy to Sunja?
Yeah. So when I started playing this game, I was an Andy main. I picked Andy in every matchup, regardless of the tier, unless it was tier 4, in which case I wasn't allowed to pick Andy, of course. Um, and I got pretty far just playing Andy. That's how I learned the game, because I never played the original games. So I just chose someone that I thought was um, easy to understand. Andy doesn't have any day-to-day powers. He just has his CO powers, and they're very game warping. They're very simple, but they completely change how people have to play the game. So maybe starting with Andy wasn't the best choice, but it served me well. And then for Sammy, I have a long standing tradition of trying to make Sammy work really well in Fog, and I'm just really bad at playing Sammy. So Sammy's my second most played CO, but I have to have I don't know, it might be like a 30% win rate on Sammy. It's but I keep trying. Uh,
So
and
now,
then
before
yeah,
we go to the next one, Bumbled, I want to ask you a question about Sammy because I do like to play Sammy a lot. Now, I'm
yeah,
not the worst or the best. I think I'm like somewhere in between, and I think she is a really good option in Fog when she's opened in tier 3 or 4. And
mm-hmm.
I think she is much more fun than any other tier 4. And the way I usually play her, I spam her power and I keep the super only for finishing blow, endgame move, because I don't want to rely on her super, and I think my win rate is much higher, at least in my ILO. It's much higher than most other Sammy player that just rely on their super. So what are your thoughts, super or power?
I'd definitely be more on the power. Definitely when I play more power, the normal power centric, it definitely works out better for me. Because if I go with the superpower, what happens is I get a bunch of cities, but then all the infantry that went out there to cap them die, and then they just take their cities back. So if you're very superpower centric, you just end up losing your unit count advantage. And then you're stuck with having very little infantry and then just worse vehicles than your opponent. And you'll end up losing the game.
I
So I
like
learned
that
that.
response. I like it a lot. So I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy to say double time is underrated. And at least in my ILO, nobody use double time. They all spam like I don't know what, like Victory March. And when I see that, sometimes it works because sometimes Victory March does hurt a lot. But
Yeah.
usually when it hurts a lot, either you were already in on a bad situation and Victory March just bury you. But yeah, Victory March. So many people rely on her, and I'm much more scared of a player that just spam double time than someone that just wait and use Victory March.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't spam double time. She has a nice advantage in that she has a very large charge pool to get to her super. So she
Yeah,
can stall for quite a long time without using a power and always have that super as like a menacing threat. And then if she sees an opportunity, she can double time. And then if you have enough stored up, which is very, very possible, you can even do double time followed by another double time.
yeah,
So there's a lot of benefits to there's the bad part of having a really expensive super in that it takes a long time to get, but the good part is that it can also be like a charge bank for your normal power.
yeah. I like that philosophy. So now moving forward, why Von Bolt?
So Von Bolt is because when there's ELO or not ELO, when there's map rotations and I don't know the map I'm playing on, I consider Von Bolt to be the safe tier 1 pick. So I pick Von Bolt. And then since there's map rotations in both standard and fog and high funds, I end up picking him a lot. I'm not necessarily familiar with the maps. And I want to not just get rolled over by an unfortunate matchup.
That's good. And Max, I'm actually very surprised because I think Max, well, in my own opinion, he is overrated. He should not be tier 2. Now, not having Enteric really hurts him. Whatever you're playing standard or fog, having his increase in firepower is really good, and his power and super are good as well. They're like he's like he somewhat stronger Jess in some area, but he is also weaker than Jess in other areas. That's why I think he is overrated, and I feel like Max most of the time in people from the same ILO, I think Max is the weakest in tier 2, but that's just my take with people that didn't really see that many good Max player. Most of the Max player in my ILO at least they are really bad. And yeah, what's your take on Max? Why is he so high?
Max is, of course, very good because he's movement CO with also additional firepower, which is very strong. But I also favor him a lot because I really don't like matches that stall or matches that come into just wall fests and stuff like that. So I like to play very aggressive. I like to have brawls. I like to trade constantly. And I like to bait people into fights that look like they're going to win. They're going to come out on top of. But then I have either tactics or just more stuff. And Max helps with that a lot because there's Max-centric tactics because of the increased firepower. And you can always have more stuff suddenly show up because you suddenly get movement speed boosts.
That's very good to know. And Kindle, very interesting pick. I do like Kindle a lot in tier 3. I'd rather player than Drake because Drake is just easy to play and Kindle just require more skills, I think. But I see you play her a lot. What's your thought? Ice Society or Urban Blight?
Definitely Urban Blight is usually better. I've played Kindle a lot because there was a string of maps where they'd have like cities right next to each other, or just there's the 5 maps that have like checkerboard cities, and in those cases, then Kindle is just incredibly strong.
That's good. And Sturm, broken. Why Sturm?
Sturm is my favorite tier 1 CO.
Okay.
So yeah, because I like being able to zoom around really fast, and I like having surprise indirects, especially in the very early stages of the game. So in like the very first tank engagement, I like having an indirect where normally it would be impossible for there to be an indirect, and therefore win the first fight.
I'm very surprised to see Sanja there. Now, here's my thought process. When I wasn't into Global League, like on my early days on Advanced Wars by Web, I always thought Sanja was so strong and so good, and I thought she was like I tier 3. But then, after playing Global League and facing off a lot of players and different matchups, I realized Sanja is actually low in tier 3. But I may be wrong because I'm just like 900 something. What's your take, Sanja? Good tier 3 or like just decent, bad? What's your take? Why Sanja is there?
I would say she's decent. She feels really bad to play because of the bad luck. She's got a high distribution here because I played her a lot in High Funds Fog, where I find her a lot better because you can get to her super really, really quickly, and when there's really strong units around, her super is really effective because a bomber with her super active cannot die to anti-airs.
That's a good response. So when it's tier 3, either you go Andy or Sanja?
If it's tier 3, I usually favor Andy. Yeah, I don't use. Well, sometimes I'll play Sonya. Sonya also has a very interesting mirror because when her super is active, it actually makes it so when you're attacked, you first strike. So in the Sonya mirror, since it works very weird. If like I have an infantry and I Sonya super, and then they have a recon and they attack my infantry, it treats it as if my infantry is first striking their recon, so their recon gets the counterattack boost damage.
Wow,
you can
that's cool. I didn't know that. I think among all the mirror matchup, this one looks like the more fun. Because usually I truly hate mirror match. And when I've seen you picking Sasha, I was like, why? Why did you pick my waifu? So now, leaving this there, why did you pick Sasha in this specific map right now against me?
I picked Sasha on this map because there's a lot of properties and I wanted to go for some reason I had an idea that you liked mechs. So I figured I would go, I don't know. That was just in my head. So I was like, well, I'll use a mech-based strategy to fight you. And the easiest way I thought to do that would be to play Sasha so I could use the additional income to produce constantly from my airport and then have the extra little bit of income I get so I can make mechs and transports for them.
That's interesting. So about this map, do you like the map? What's your analysis of the map in itself?
I do like this map. I think it's maybe a little too favorable for early transportation because it's very difficult to punish APC openers because of how you get your this base over here, you get that delayed. So this entire front that they get their APC opener towards doesn't get established fast enough to really punish it.
Okay, that's interesting. So you don't like transport?
I really like transport. I just would prefer if the the map wasn't almost forced into a transport opener.
Interesting take. So let's do this. Now I picked Sasha because I thought you would less likely pick her. I was actually sure you would not pick her because I think she may be very strong as a CEO early in the game. I think she's the weakest in tier 1 with side by side with Grit and Fog because Grit relies so much on vision that he is really hard to play in Fog, and I think a lot of tier 2 I should say, can actually defeat Grit. So I think Sasha and Grit are like the weakest in tier 1. So I was like, I will pick the weakest, but I will have a lot of fun because this won't be a mirror match. But then this happens. But yeah, that's why I picked Sasha, and I do like Sasha a lot. She is one of my favorites, and I want to main her in my tier 1. Even if I know she is not really amazing, I want her to be my main tier 1 because nobody plays her, or at least in my ILO nobody touch her because she requires more skill than, let's say, Og that just push button Blackstorm when he can.
Yeah. Yeah, she's really good. She's really fun. She gets openings that no one else can because of that income difference.
So let's start this off. You are in charge. I think you still have mouse control, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's do this. You are in charge. We go at your pacing.
Oh, okay. Well, what were you thinking? Did you have a game plan?
Not really. I was like, I will cap building, I will make money. I will kill penguin.
Yeah.
I never have a game plan, to be honest, because me, I play on the fly. I play for fun and to be relaxed, and I'm sure if I would take the game more seriously, I would be much better. But here's the thing, I play for fun. So I do like to learn and improve and become better, but I don't look at a map and say, I've got a strat. Like sometimes I have opening that repeat themselves when I'm used to a map, but now Marengo, this map, it's been forever. I haven't seen this map in League. I think I've seen it like the first 2 or 3 months I did League, but now it's been like, last time I played it was what, January? In League at least. So I'm kind of rusty in this map, but I still wanted to play this map because I do like the map. Like, this rotation for me is awful. I hate every single new map. I'm not joking.
Oh wow, I haven't played them.
It's the first time I hate a rotation. Usually I always find like a new map in the rotation fun, but not this time around. And I think like my favorite maps are maps that were there in the previous rotation that are still around right now. Like Stalingrad, I do like Stalingrad a lot, but that's one of the few I enjoy right now. Assassin, I'm kind of fed up by it because Assassin is boring. It's just some HQ race, and like when you got a good grasp of the map, like it's no more fun.
Mm-hmm. So in this game, it looks like our opening up to turn 4 at least is exactly the same.
Oh, so this is a good sign. I did the same opening as the top 10 player.
Yeah. I think this is going to be the turn where we diverge. Let's see where you spend your money. You go for an early... Yeah, you went for an early tank. So why'd you go for an early tank?
I do like tanks a lot. Early tanks are my thing. I don't like early recon. Now, I do see the use, and I think it can be powerful, but I'd rather pick a early tank than a early recon. And now, I know APC and transport are pretty good in this map, but knowing that, I know you will probably go for a transport, so I'm like, maybe I will get the upper end in the tank war early in the game if I start adding tanks faster. Now, I can't remember if this game around I did transport, but usually I have at least like 1 or 2 transport, like around the 6-7. But in this game, I forgot if I add transports. Yeah, I wanted something more aggressive, and I don't like the recon opening. Even if I know a recon opening is good, I prefer the tank opening.
Yeah. So do you have like a plan for this tank is going to go?
If I remember correctly, I sent it there because... Oh, actually there. Because I wanted to deny you this building there.
Oh, see, that's good. That's good. You have a nice plan, a goal for your tank.
I think that's what I did. I'm actually pretty sure this is what I did. But it failed, but I tried doing it.
The Eagle, I don't know if you know the player Eagle with a bunch of exclamation points, but he did a similar thing in a game against me, and a similar thing happened to him, except it was a recon instead of a tank. Well, you'll see.
Eagle is really good. Do you know if Eagle has Discord?
Eagle stopped playing. He said that the game was getting too stressful for him.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but maybe he'll be back.
I try to have diversity in my guests, but I try my best to have like top players, so I can learn from them, and my audience can learn as well from them.
Yeah. I think this is So you didn't go for the airport. You went for this back property first. Is there a reason you went for this property over the airport?
Actually, I think it's by reflex, but now I realize how bad this is because it takes away my option to get air units.
Yeah.
I just realized it when I see you doing it. I cannot understand why you do it, and now I cannot understand why on my side it's kind of wrong what I did. So I think it's my reflex. I never really realized how important that airport can be early in the game. So
yeah, especially for Sasha.
It's by reflex. So you see, this is why I like to do games with higher rated players. I learned stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so you can see I have this set up where I'm going to hop into this APC with this infantry next turn. And I'm going to drop it off over here. And then this infantry is 3 away from this tile, so I'll get a boost, as you'll see. This is how you set up APC openers. Is you want one infantry from another base to be fed into your transport that you build. And then because the transport moves 6 and infantries move 3, the infantry that you built the previous turn will be halfway to where the APC will get to. Because 3 plus 3 is 6. And you'll see how it works. Yeah.
This is cool. No, I do like transport a lot. And in this map as well, the transports are really good. But I can't remember if I made transport on my own. Now, I've got some off-topic question, but it's still in topic because this is Advance Wars. I know I have a friend, he likes so much to base skip, to have like medium tank, bombers, faster. Do you have any way to counter a base skipping player? Like, how do you react when you realize your opponent may have base skipped?
Well, the problem with base skipping is that you are down on unit count.
Yeah.
So that means that yeah. I mean, you can base skip and it can be good. But that means that you're probably going to have an infantry advantage, and that means that if somehow you know that they've base skipped, then you should probably start making infantry trades so that you can wear down their lesser number of infantry. And without infantry, you can't cap cities. If you can't cap cities, you can't get money, and then you lose the game.
Oh, that's.
I had a similar strategy against you here because I know that I'm going to be out unit counting you. So I go for lots of engagements. Let's see here. I'm very glad that you know this route.
Yep.
Go into this mountain to then go here. A lot of people, they like step around the mountain, but then it takes another turn to get to the city.
Yeah, I'm as high as you in the leaderboard, but I do have a lot of experience in this game.
That's good. See, this is where you're really sad that you don't have a transport, because this one's 7 instead of 6 away from here, so that like the boost saves you a whole turn. Whoa, okay, so why'd you move your tank just to there? Why not the full 6?
Wait, one moment. What was the question?
Like this tank movement here. What's that?
I actually don't know. I think I didn't know where I would like to send that tank at that point. I think this.
Okay.
I think later on I realized I want it there, but sometime I just don't know. So I'm like, yeah, you're damn right. I wasted spaces with that thing.
Especially because now it's like cornered in by these forests. Or have to like backtrack this way or go through. I don't know. It's gonna be fine though, since you got it so early. It's not like there's anything over here to fight yet.
Yeah.
So even if you got there earlier, you'd just be sitting in like the forest or something. Oh, there we go.
Is it working? Oh yeah.
I think it's lagging a bit. Okay, it looks like it's better. Alright, here's the transport play. Whee. And see, that's why this transport's really nice. Is because it saves the turn for this one to get to here, and it also sets this guy up to get here in 2 turns exactly, which is very nice. And then it'll also set this guy up to go here. And I think I go for a recon. And this recon's goal is to get back here to make sure you don't have anything funny with like a really early transport copter, and you would drop like an infantry out of right here. If you did that to like claim this corner city, then this recon would get in your way. And then if mission is successful there, it's going to try and control this city.
Speaking about transport copter, I see a lot of mountain and forest. Would you consider more the transport copter over the APC in this map, or the APC is just faster to go out and be deployed? What is your favorite option? I know right now you got the APC, so you kind of responded the question, but what's the good and the wrong in between the APC and the transport copter?
So the transport copter is definitely stronger on the map, but because the transport copter is back here that it gets built, it's much worse as an opening. Because as like you saw up here with the APC, since it opens here at this forward base, surrounded by infantry to move around already, it's just going to be a lot faster to get going. I'll also get a transport copter.
Okay.
But it takes a little longer to get going. Yep. Looks good. And then a recon and an artillery.
Yeah, I like to follow up my tanks. I think it's at this point here I realized I wanted the tank there. So at that point I made up my mind, I think. But yeah, artillery and recon, I think they work well together. And yeah, I also like following up a tank with another tank. But here I was like, tank spamming against a better player than me, it won't really work. I will need to be more clever than that. So yeah, artillery recon.
Okay. I mean, that can definitely work. Tank spam is always safe. No matter how good the player is, tanks are just that good. And here we can see that I'm going for this nice 2-turn to that property. Start capping this one. Recon starting its mission. And then that also saved a turn on this infantry. So the APC saves, boosts this one a turn, boosts this one a turn, boosts this one 2 turns. It's or was that 3 turns?
The APC
yeah, it's 3 turns for this one. So
the
yeah,
APC already paid itself back, I think.
Yeah. That's why it's very strong on this map, and because like you just got this base operational, so it's like you can't even punish my rather weak front over here. Like you have a tank, artillery, and a recon over here going to be defending these guys, but there's nothing I can do to even threaten them right now. And that's why the transport's really strong, is because you just can't punish it. And now you can start seeing my plan. My plan is to win on unit count and utilizing transports with infantries. So I'm going to be making sure to produce from my airport every single turn. And this is a turn that would not be normally possible with a CO that isn't a Sasha.
Yeah.
The extra income I've gotten has allowed me to be able to afford this triple infantry and a battlecopter turn.
This is why I like Sasha so much. She is so fun for taking up fast and having a lot of unit people should not have at that point in the game. And she's not even broken because later on in the game, her power diminished a lot.
Yeah. And then I have a specific plan for this battlecopter. I want it to stand right here because I've tried many times because I get this property really, really early because of the APC boost.
Yeah.
And then I want to chain to get this property, but it's just within range of what's being built over here usually, so that if you send an infantry here, it just dies and then you don't get the property. But I had a new plan this game that was like, well, if I build this early battlecopter that is allowed because I'm Sasha, I can fly and sit right here and then have my recon right here, and then that's just going to block access to stopping my capture here.
That's good.
That was my plan.
I've seen a lot of battlecopters and I was actually surprised. I was like, I kind of know copters are good, but this good? I never really realized because, like, in my ILO, people don't know how to use copters, and when they copter spam, it just doesn't work. But when a better player, when a good player knows what he's doing with his battlecopters, then it's working.
Yeah, and I didn't think there was much risk to an anti-air coming because there's no way you would expect a battlecopter that fast.
Yeah.
And I just accepted that there's a chance that you'll just get the first strike on my battlecopter, and I'll just live with that, and then work on trying to hold the city. Okay. I think these capture routes are pretty good for having no transport. Tank, infantry. Okay. I see you're very defensive with your tank movement here.
I'm scared. I don't know what to expect. It's the first time I fight you. I know you're better than me. I know you're good. I know you're one of the better player in the world, one of the best. So I'm like,
yeah.
I just don't know what to expect. Like against Catby, even against Catby, we had like 5 or 6 games, and I still don't know what to expect against him. So now you're a brand new player that has Penguin. and Penguin can be scary in a good player ends. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm scared.
Yeah, definitely shouldn't be scared yet, right? Because there's a period of the game where you just have like safety from the fog, or safety provided by the fog. Like, I can't strike over here yet, so
Yeah.
feel free to like use all your movement to get into better positions.
But I think I did use all my movement. I was on the forest.
Yeah, you were here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. But like, you don't have to go into this forest. You can go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can go here, just like farther forward, so that you have a greater chance of interrupting.
Yeah.
These properties, because they're so hard to defend very early on. And if you have an early tank like that, you gotta get value to justify building it then, rather than later on.
I see. This is a good analysis. I like it.
You can see I set myself up to boost this infantry down here to get my comm tower. And I'm doing it with the fresh infantry from the cities, so that I get more infantry on the front lines. Like, I could do the same thing to boost this guy, but I'd rather have more on the front lines rather than just moving my front lines around. So if I run into infantry on infantry combat, I'm just going to win because I've got more stuff. You can see my battlecopter's on its way.
Yeah.
I got my T-copter. Make sure to bring this guy down so you can jump into the T-copter, and then I have this set up so I can get a boost off of it, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe not. Maybe I don't have these guys set up the right way. Maybe I just wasn't able to. So I got this recon here rather than another infantry, because I thought you might go, if you went the transport route, you would have an infantry that'd be threatening to take this, but you wouldn't have much of anything around to stop me from interrupting it besides another recon. So that's why I went with a recon here, because I wanted to try and contest this city.
I like it. So you always have something in mind when you do something. That I think that's why you're so good.
If that, I would highly recommend that people start having a reason to build each thing you build. So did you build this anti-air on like reflex?
To counter early battlecopters, because I don't really like early battlecopters. And usually I have an anti-air, I think, earlier than this, but most of the time by that day I have at least one anti-air. And at some point I want one anti-air per front. But yeah, I think the early anti-air is very important, because all SEALs enjoy battlecopters. Even if Grid has weaker battlecopters, they are still very good because they can fly above stuff and they can take on tanks. So battlecopters are really good, and I value them a lot. Even if in my ILO people are not really good at using them, I know they are good. So I like to have like anti-air ready on the front line before getting surprised. And of course, on our game, I was a bit too slow because I didn't expect this early as a battlecopter.
Yeah. So you're more operating on like, it's day 8 now, so I should build an anti-air.
Yeah. Sometimes it's 7. All depends on the funds in the map, but most of the time by day 8, I have at least one anti-air.
Gotcha. But that doesn't mean you're going to have to skip building out of your airport.
What do you mean?
Well, because you spend your money on this anti-air and this recon, and then this infantry, you're going to have no money left to use your airport.
You're right.
So if you're playing as Sasha, you have one of two advantages that you can push for. You can either push for getting a faster tech up, so getting like medium tanks out faster, or you can push for a unit count because you can afford to like always produce from your airport where other people can't. So you're just going to have more units, which is what's going to happen in this game.
So as Sasha, you recommend to have a lot of air forces?
Yeah, I think to use your power of getting more money the most, I think constantly producing from your airport is going to help out the most. One, you'll just get more infantry, which is always good because infantry are the best units to fight other infantry.
Yeah.
And they're the best to start fights. As you'll see, there's going to be lots of times where it's like, there's an infantry, I'm going to hit it with a tank, and then I get to counter you're attacking my infantry on like my side, because you have to like go onto my front lines to hit that infantry, and then my vehicles can take out your vehicle.
That's good to know. I think I will consider much more air units with Sasha. I know air units are staples, but after your explanation, I value them much more now.
Yeah, they're good. But yeah, the other option, of course, with Sasha is to tech up faster.
Yeah.
To get like a really fast medium tank or
neo tank. Yeah.
Or like a stealth. That's always fun because like, you can afford the stealth
so
and then
much stealth. They should not be part of Global League.
But yeah, the stealths are another thing that Sasha can push for because it forces your opponent to get a fighter, and they can't necessarily afford the fighter while you were able to afford the stealth. How fast did that? You were very scared.
Yeah, and more than this, I didn't know what you had. I was like, you probably has a recon somewhere. But now looking back, I'm like, I was just too scared. I think that artillery should be closer, much closer. Worst case scenario, you can hit it with something.
Yeah, and then you hit me back with all the tanks.
Yeah.
Like in this case, you have a strong side and weak side going on. So on your strong side, where you have almost all your resources invested, you should just be really bold, because any fight that happens, at worst, you're going to be fighting an equally funded army.
Yeah.
Because you already had like all your money's here. So even if I put all my money down here, which I can't do because that's my one base and it's later.
Yeah.
You're still going to be in an equal fight at worst. Okay. I like these infantry movements. You're like going for the comm tower with a backup. I think that's a good idea. I did think about trying to contest your comm tower, so you would have been prepared. If I use this, but it's lined up to go with this guy next turn. And you can start to see how much income I'm getting from the ABC opener, where you have 13 properties and I have 17 properties.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's very, very strong. Oh, okay. I have this guy lined up to jump in the next turn. The first mech. Okay, so I go back for this mech. Yeah.
I need to understand mechs. Mechs are trash.
Well, that's
You
it.
use them well.
I thought you liked mechs.
I hate mech. I don't know why you think I like it. I don't know if you're joking or if you truly believe I like mechs. But I will correct it if you truly believe I like mechs.
Yeah, I thought you did.
Are trash.
Oh, okay.
Mech are trash, and here's why I think they're trash. I'd
Yeah.
rather have 3 infantry over 1 mech, or I'd rather have 2 extra bucks for something else. Mechs are just too slow, even with transport. Now, with transport, they are better. Of course, it's obvious. But they are still very slow, and they are more defensive than offensive.
Yeah.
I just don't like the mechs. I just don't. Like, there are seals that can use mechs well, like Sturm, Vomble, because of extra defense. They always pay the mech back. Now, if we go tier 0, it's obvious, like, pretty much any seals in tier 0 are happy to have mechs, but even there, I would not consider mechs too much. But Sami mechs are somewhat decent, but even there, Sami mechs are probably the best in the game, but I still don't like them. I don't.
Okay. I thought that mechs would be pretty strong on this map for 2 reasons. One, with this transport route that I've got going here, where this guy goes up here, the mech goes here, the next turn it moves in here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, drop the mech off in this forest, covering this city. So if I got pushed back to trying to defend this city, I can have a mech hiding in this forest perfectly in line in case you use like a tank or something to clear it.
Anti-air tank.
Yeah, it's a very strong position to get transported to.
Yeah.
And then if the fight gets into the middle, I can be dropping off these mechs on mountains, and mechs on mountains are very hard to get off of mountains.
They are the best terrain.
His vehicles. Yeah, they're very strong. So that was my game plan, and I was going to have an artillery behind them to make it so it's really, really hard to like push over here. But that didn't work out because you ended up having a lot of investment down here, so I had to start investing more in this space, and I couldn't afford to get an artillery up here. Ah, yes. The recon successfully found out that mission accomplished. You weren't rushing this city. So I was like, well, I'll sit here and be really annoying. And you can't take this city because I'm on it.
When I found that recon, I was so pissed. I was like, no, he's too smart. The players in my ILO, they don't do that.
Yeah. That's one of the strong points of recons. They can just sit on cities and then infantries can't take them. And you can see that my battlecopter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's perfectly aligned up for the recon here, battlecopter here. Infantry starts capping.
Now, another question: why exactly did you buy another battlecopter? Is it because it's Sasha, or it's because it's the map? How many battlecopters and why?
So it's because I'm Sasha and I want to win on unit count.
Okay.
That's my Sasha plan. It's not to do a fast tech up. It's to win on unit count. So I want to produce from this airport every single turn. And if I built a transport copter, I wouldn't be able to build a vehicle from the other bases. I wouldn't have enough money for that. So I'll rely on the battlecopter to be my vehicle.
If you had more money, you would consider having 3 transports?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
maybe more.
Interesting.
That way I could have just a constant churn of mechs out of these and just be transporting them all up to the front.
Like, for me, the perfect number of transport in an army is between 1 and 2, but after what you said about unit count with Sasha, I think 3 can be actually good as Sasha, if well used.
Yeah. It takes a lot of practice, but eventually you'll get used to using transports. And I mess it up a few times this game. But transports also have the added bonus of being really good blockers. So even if they're not transporting mechs, you can always just put them in the way of stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't remember if I do this game, but we'll see. Okay. So you're getting good vision and you're also lining yourself up to take this, which is good. That's a good play. Yeah, because you're not in range to take the comm tower.
Yeah.
So you might as well make a play that puts you in range and also gives you an advantage, such as getting really good vision. And then you see that I'm capping this. So you've got an idea that I'm at the same speed as you for reaching this. Did that change your game plan at all when you saw this, or is that what you expected to see?
This is what I expected to see. I was like, okay, I'm not this bad if he's capping the same building as me. But I had no clue you had 2 transports around.
Oh, okay. So you went here instead of onto the mountain. Is that because you wanted to move onto this missile platform?
Yep. And
Gotcha.
I had hoped you would move away your Raycon.
I
I was like, maybe we'll take a shot to my unit.
That would have been possible if you didn't then move this infantry. We'll see. I'll show you on my turn.
Now, for once, I had the thought process behind that tank. I see a Raycon, I decide to have a tank to counter it.
Yep. I mean, that's what you gotta do. If you don't, then that recon just sits there forever, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. Is that like its max move? No. So why did you choose this square?
Because I wanted to see the forest, and I wanted to see as far as I could.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You're like, if there's a tank in that forest, I want to see to hit it.
I don't like surprise, and I don't know how you play. So I was like, I want to reveal everything I can.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think that's good. Look into the forest. It's either that or you sit on a city, so you can't get one shot.
Yeah.
That's Recon's always fear getting taken down before.
Yeah.
This is probably what you expected to see then.
Yeah.
You're maybe a little worried that I'm on the mountain, so I see you too. Alright. So you saw this guy in the mountains. You're like, aha, he's going for the city.
Yeah.
I will move to intercept. I think that's good. I guess you're covering this city.
Yeah.
I think I think if you had a little more aggressive with your artillery movements, you'd be very happy. Because artillery, they get hit hard by tanks and don't hit back. But if they use a tank to hit your artillery while you have tanks around, that your tanks will kill their tank.
Yeah.
And even a low health artillery is still very useful.
Yeah.
And like if it had been a little bit more forward, you could like cover your recon, and then you wouldn't be scared of me going for you. Oh, I noticed that you built your stuff before you finished moving.
Yep.
That's a bad habit as a Sasha player.
I know. I usually don't, but I knew at that point I would not get my power yet. But I know.
Yeah. I mean, I have lost games because I built stuff before using my power, and then I use it, and then they don't lose any charge.
Now, speaking about Sasha,
Yeah.
I know how good her power is. Do you ever value her super, and why? And why would you not value or value her super?
I don't value her super. I think that it comes on too late to really benefit much from the economic advantage. But I do value this the charge bar.
Yeah.
I think oftentimes it's best not to use your market crash right away. It's often really good to just store up so that when really big engagements start happening, you can do market crash after market crash. Both because your opponent's going to get a lot of charge from the big engagements, and you like just keep it down a lot, and also you get your stat boost from that. So having back-to-back market crashes is often really, really good.
2.5.
Which is not something that we can do in this matchup.
Yeah. Forget it. That's why I also fair match. It's like, yo, Olaf versus Olaf. Are you using Blizzard?
Yeah. Yeah. So here, I knew that you didn't have a tank in range of this recon, so I could pretty much do whatever I want with it. And I know that because this recon has moved the exact distance that it could possibly from the base.
Yeah.
And then this infantry has moved the exact distance it could possibly do in 2 moves.
Yeah.
So I know that your previous buys was this infantry and this recon. So the closest you could have is that you just built a tank. So I know that this recon can do whatever it wants. Which is why I go for the risky move of stepping onto the road.
There's a
because
lot
it's
of
not risky.
There's a lot of thinking.
Yeah. You just get, after a while, you just get used to it. You're just like, oh, well, this is the movement that a recon can do. This is the movement the infantry could do. So I know what's been built there. It's more instinctual eventually. Oh yes, I boost myself onto the mountain so I can see the very value. When I saw that this was captured, I was like a little torn as to whether or not you had done a transport opener. I wasn't sure if you could get that fast, but you definitely could, just because you actually get it with this guy like I did. He didn't use any transport. And then, yeah, I move here. I didn't expect you to have 2 tanks. Not that you... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this one couldn't reach, I see. So yeah, I moved the recon again onto a city so that you can't start the capture, because I know that I have an infantry here, and it's ready to start a capture. So you probably have an infantry here ready to start this capture. And then I didn't think that you would have an anti-air over here this early, because that would have to be like an almost anti-air first vehicle, which would be pretty rare. So I'm very confident that this battlecopter can cover this infantry. And you can see all the boosts that I do with
the broken boost that should be nerfed to respect the old games.
That's what makes transports so good. And I know that one of the big weaknesses of the one base side is often its infantry count. So I've brought infantry down from my 2 base side, which is just constantly producing infantry, so that I can win infantry engagements and then still have guys left over to capture. And here's my my plan coming into action to get this city. I was hoping that because you can't see the city right now with this recon, I don't think. Yeah, so I was hoping you'd like maybe be deterred from this battlecopter, and then like the recon doesn't want to get close to it, and then you don't see that I'm capping the city. But that did not happen. Okay, so you saw. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so you saw the battlecopter and you immediately moved the anti-air towards it. That's a good call. I expected you to build an anti-air this turn, so this would have caught me off guard. Why did you did you move over here just to see the city with the infantry so you could hit it with the recon? I think that's good, since recon and infantry should kill my infantry. One, two, three, four, five, six. So he's not actually covering these guys. I don't think there was a place you could have. 4, 5. Oh. Where was that anti-air before? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if you had the plan of going for this city before moving the anti-air, you would have gone here. So that you could then cover your recon just in case I got antsy with that battlecopter.
Oh, I didn't
but I think
thought
it's
about
fine.
that. That's very smart.
I thought this was pretty bold. Just opening yourself up for. Yeah, you wanted to see more. Yeah, and then you're like, well, I can also stop this capture, which is.
But when I look back, I think I should have attacked with my tank here.
Sorry.
There. And then with that recon, I should have finished off that recon. I don't know why I did
I can see that.
But, this is looking back, I'm actually surprised I went that route. But yeah.
I would be scared of doing this because if I had built a tank a turn earlier, it'd be able to hit your recon. And even if I didn't, I would be able to surround your recon and keep it in place for a future tank with all these infantry. Okay, the nice combo there that finished that guy off. This tank shows no fear. I think this tank is very precarious here because it's on a. It only has one square it can retreat to like get out of here. So if I end up blocking this in here,
yeah,
this is why when I see the situation, I'm like, what are the likelihood that they can trap my unit with cheaper units and then kill me off? But if, like, you attack from down here, then I can't. I mean, I can still block this square, I guess. Yeah, I guess you're just entering into this zone is just very dangerous, I guess.
I damaged that
but
infantry.
I think the attack's good.
I damaged that infantry for two reasons. The first one, in case you tried to block me, but it was just worst case scenario. I didn't actually thought you would do that. I was like,
yeah,
worst case scenario, that unit will die, but then you really did it. And the other reason is to stop you from capping the building in the corner.
Yeah. And I guess you probably didn't expect another battlecopter.
Yeah.
Like, well, he went for a really early one here. He's probably not got even more. Yeah.
Yeah. I had no idea of what was going on.
And then I didn't like this infantry attack here. Mainly because it injured your infantry. So then you don't have as much pressure on me to maintain the fight over here.
Okay.
Because if you tried to capture the city, I have another turn that to spend. And I didn't know about this guy. So it looks like you're trying to hide
Yeah, you got that
the
recall,
tank from me.
and I'm really scared of what you have, and I don't want your battlecopter to strike my tank first.
Yeah. I would definitely... I like the hiding in the forest. I would probably prefer hiding in this forest.
More movement?
Just because it gives you more movement, yeah. But hiding in the forest is a good call.
That's funny, because the moment you have spoke about that forest, it went back to what Counterpie told me in another game. I did the same kind of move. So I was like, the moment you said that forest, I right away connected the dots and said, oh, I see, you want me to have more space, which is actually really good, and I should have thought about that, because Counterpie told me the same thing last week, I think, or the week before that. Regardless, I will try my best to remember that, because this is smart.
Yeah, it's a recurring thing.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think you cover your recon from here. Yeah. So from here, you'd cover the recon.
Yeah.
But I don't think I mean, I don't really have anything to attack that recon. So it ends up being okay. Double anti-air over here.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I should have bought it in the bottom part of the map, looking back. I don't know why I bought double in the same side, I really don't. But looking back, I think I should have bought the anti-air in the bottom. But now, I think what happened is I bought the battlecopter, and my reflex was to go on the closest base. Sometimes I work like a CPU. I have a building order to activate. I think this is what happened. That's the only explanation I got.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. It's going to be pretty good against my, like, nothing but infantry. Goes back for healing. Well, you didn't move this guy. You just liked being on. You just liked the vision he was giving you, I guess.
Yeah. Or I forgot about it.
Oh, okay.
But I think
it's not bad to just like
vision. But I think I wanted the vision.
I think that's fair. It gives you more information on like the turn replay after all. The corner is mine. Tank gets dropped off in the forest, or not the tank, the mech.
Wow.
Yeah, see, it's yeah. If it was here, I'd be really, really sad. So I did this, because I thought that you built an anti-air this turn, and you're not going to be able to defend this guy. I thought you'd have a tank here, and it wouldn't be able to stop me. No. But yeah, if the anti-air had gone here, I would have been really, really sad. I wouldn't have expected to lose. I thought I was going to lose it like next turn, not this turn. Finish off the recon. Get rid of that vision. And then I'm starting the infantry trades, which I want to do because I know that your one base side always has infantry problems. So the more infantry fights I can take over there, the better. Especially because I captured this very forward city.
Yeah. Oh, when I've seen that, I was like, no, really?
Yeah.
Helicopters played by a good player.
Yeah, and then I moved this guy over here to line him up to take this, and he's protected by the battlecopter being in the way. And I don't like this guy. This guy also, now if you use him to kill this guy to free your 3-point tank to like retreat to here, I can then step down here, finish off this guy, and then you'll have no infantry over here. Was the plan. Or I guess he'd step down like this.
Another copter. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to build the copter every single turn because I want to win on unit count.
Wow. I think I will play Sasha in a other way in the future because of this game. Thank you so much for your wisdom. Wow. Makes Sasha
It does
great
require... Yeah. It does require that I'm fighting one front with pretty much just mechs and infantry. Which is what I'll be utilizing the transports to do. And ideally, I would also have an artillery over here, but I saw how much you had invested over here, so I had to start building a tank. Yeah, and then I moved this guy down here to a base that's within striking range of you, so that if you hit it, I can counterattack from my city.
Yeah.
Oh, lagging. So it's kind of like a win-win for me. Either I'm going to get a favorable trade attacking from my city, or my recon's going to get repaired. Ooh, a little bit of lag. That's okay. But... And then I was scared of your artillery. I was like, do I go in to engage, but then just get shot by an artillery? I don't need to do that because you're an 8 health infantry, so even if you start capping that city, I'm not under that much pressure, is what I was thinking.